I am 92 years old. I have outlived my wife. I have outlived my closest friends. I have outlived the people who doubted me, the people who competed with me, and the people who wished me harm. And perhaps most importantly, I have outlived the younger version of myself, the one who spent every waking hour trying to prove something to a world that was never really paying attention. I am standing at the final chapter now. I can feel it in my bones. And before this chapter closes, I need to turn around and speak to those of you still in the middle of your story. Because from where I am standing, I can see something you cannot. I can see the full picture. And what I see is this: you are sleepwalking through the greatest gift you will ever be given. You have time, or at least you believe you do. And that belief, that comfortable, dangerous, deeply human belief, is quietly destroying you. You move through your days like someone who has been handed an unlimited bank account, spending freely, carelessly, never checking the balance. But I am here to tell you, with the authority of someone who has reached the bottom of the account, that you are running out. We all are, and the ones who refuse to believe that are the ones who end up with the most regret. I want to tell you about a man I knew. His name was William. It was 1971. William was the sharpest man in every room he walked into. Brilliant mind, commanding presence, the kind of man who made you feel like everything was under control just by being near him. He was my colleague, my competitor, and one of my dearest friends. We were sitting together one evening after a long week of work, sharing a meal, and William leaned back in his chair and said to me, 3 years. That is all I need. 3 more years of this pace, and then I am done. I am going to buy that cottage by the lake I always wanted. I am going to teach myself how to play the piano. I am going to finally be present for my family the way they deserve. William had it all mapped out. He was not a dreamer. He was a planner, a strategist. And his strategy was to postpone living until the conditions were perfect. He never made it 3 years. A stroke took him at his desk on an ordinary Wednesday afternoon. He was 58 years old. The cottage was never bought. The piano was never played. His family got the version of William that was always preparing for later, and they never got the version that was finally ready to show up. I stood at his funeral and I understood something I have never been able to forget. The tragedy was not that William died. Death comes for all of us. That is not the tragedy. The tragedy was that William spent his entire life building a runway for a flight that never departed. He postponed joy. He scheduled love for a later date, and when that later date arrived, so did the end. I went to his office the week after to help his family collect his things. His desk calendar was packed with meetings for the next 4 months. His notepad was covered in goals for the coming year. The world moved on without missing a single beat. His position was filled within a month, and within 2 years, most people in his industry had forgotten his name entirely. When you look in the mirror, I need you to ask yourself honestly, are you William? Are you living in a permanent state of not yet? Now let me say something about the things you own, or more accurately, the things that own you. Your generation is drowning in stuff. You are working yourselves into exhaustion to buy things that will not comfort you when you are suffering, will not sit beside you when you are lonely, and will not appear in a single memory you cherish on your deathbed. You are trading your irreplaceable hours for objects that will end up in a landfill. I know this because I did the same thing. I had the large house, I had the fine car, I had the wardrobe, the watches, the furniture chosen to impress people I invited over twice a year. I believed, somewhere beneath conscious thought, that the accumulation of beautiful things meant I was winning. I live in one simple room now, a bed, a window, a photograph of my wife on the table beside me, and I am telling you with the complete clarity that only comes at the very end, I have never felt more free. Nobody follows the hearse with a moving truck. When you are gone, the people you leave behind will sort through your precious belongings with tired eyes and heavy hearts, and almost everything you sacrificed for will be gone within a week. Donated, discarded, sold for almost nothing at a table on someone's front lawn. That is the destination of your materialism. So before you sign another lease, before you take another loan, Before you work another 60-hour week to afford something you don't genuinely need, ask yourself, what am I actually trading? Because what you are trading is your life, hour by hour, year by year. In 1982, I received the highest professional honor of my career. An award presented at a grand formal dinner, hundreds of people in the room, a standing ovation when I walked to the stage. I shook hands with important people. I gave a speech. I felt in that moment like every sacrifice had been worth it. I drove home that night with the award on the passenger seat beside me. I walked into a quiet house. My wife, Margaret, was already asleep. My son had gone to bed hours earlier. I sat alone at the kitchen table in the dark, and I looked at that award and waited to feel something. The feeling never came, because the people in that banquet hall did not love me. They respected what I had accomplished, and that is not the same thing. The people who actually loved me were upstairs sleeping, and I had spent the last 2 years neglecting them in pursuit of recognition from strangers. I had missed my son's school performances. I had canceled family holidays for conference calls. I had given the best hours of the best years of my life to a career that, upon my retirement, replaced me without hesitation and moved forward without a single pause. Your career is not your legacy. It is a transaction. You give your time and energy, they give you money and a title, and that is the entire arrangement. It will not mourn you. It will not remember you. The day you are gone, someone else will be sitting in your chair. Do not confuse your profession with your purpose. So if the possessions are temporary and the career is a transaction and the accolades are empty, what remains? Here is what I have learned. The only things you truly keep are the things you gave away, the love you offered without keeping score, the time you spent fully present with the people who needed you, the moments of genuine human connection that cannot be photographed or framed or posted anywhere, but live permanently in the hearts of the people who experience them with you. I do not lie here and remember contracts I signed. I remember Saturday mornings when time moved slowly and Margaret and I had nowhere to be. I remember the exact sound of my son's laughter on a camping trip in the summer of 1975. I remember sitting with a grieving neighbor for 3 hours saying nothing, just being there. Those are the moments I return to. That is the wealth that survives. So here is what I want to leave you with. Stop performing your life and start living it. You are so consumed with how things look that you have forgotten to feel how they feel. Drop the performance. Be real with the people around you. That realness is the only thing they will remember anyway. And treat every ordinary moment like it might be the last time, because one day it will be. One day you will have your last conversation with someone you love without knowing it is the last one. If you truly understood this, you would never rush through a meal with your family again. You would never end a phone call with your parents without saying something that matters. And whatever you have been waiting to begin, begin it now. Not Monday. Not next month. Not when things settle down. Now. Because the waiting is not preparation. The waiting is just loss. We are all moving toward the same ending. The only variable is what we do with the distance between here and there. Don't waste it. I am tired now. Go live.